It's wonderful to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me along this evening to be here. As Anu said, I was just in Amsterdam last week. We're very busy there because we had our 13th Homeless World Cup. First of all, the bad news. We still have 100 million homeless people in the world, from the richest country to the poorest country. It's a shocking statistic. It's a shocking position that the world finds itself in, with the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer, and us not seeming to have a solution. I was recently in Los Angeles 4 or 5 weeks ago, and on every street corner in the downtown LA, there were people on the street, some of them with severe mental health problems. 3.5 million people, they say, on the streets of the US in what is still the richest country in the world. And so, with that country has big problems, we all have big problems. And it's difficult for us to understand how we challenge it. But being a change maker, I believe that you take one small step at a time and just get on and do it. It's what we do. Now, the good news is we organize the Homeless World Cup. And we've done it now for 13 years. And very simply, what happens is that we have one partner in each country where we work in, which is 74 countries around the world. And they in turn work in their cities, and they simply go to homeless people where they are, in the streets or in hostels, and get them playing football. And the beauty is that football is really, really simple. All you need to do is get a ball and kick it, and anybody can play it at any standard. You can be rubbish at it or wonderful at it, and you can be in the same team, and you can play 2-a-side or 20-a-side or 500-a-side, and you can be old or small or male and female or whatever. It doesn't matter. You can participate. So we get homeless people to participate in kicking balls around, and in the process, they start to find some identity within the team. So psychologically, their position is low self-esteem, low self-respect, low confidence, totally marginalized, excluded, but the football can get them involved in something. Begin a psychological journey to change. After a while, we work with them on their issues, which might be housing or employment or drug and alcohol or a combination of the whole lot, and work on pathways to get out, but always they're coming back to play football. We work probably now with 100,000 homeless people each year around the world, and we've probably touched the lives of over 1 million since we started. Then once a year, a team is selected to represent that country at the Homeless World Cup. We play a small-sided court, street soccer, with 8 in a team, 4 on, 4 off. It's a very exciting game. Players come to the Homeless World Cup only once. It's the end of a journey for them. Afterwards, they go back and end their pathways and create change. And that's the most critical thing for us. That's the reason that we are in business. It's not about having a fantastic football competition each year, which it is. It's about the impact. And we started to find amazing statistics that 80% of those that were participating changed their lives forever, got jobs, houses, came off drugs. Some went into football coaching, went to college, etc., simply because they were kicking a ball. When we first read those statistics, we didn't believe them because they were so high. But we've tested that, and that continues to be the case. So our Homeless World Cup is the aim for the players, and now in each country there are national championships, regional championships, neighborhood championships. Everybody's playing football, and the players are trying to get on the team to represent their country. So here we are. I managed to get some pictures from last week. So here's some pictures, just recent pictures from Amsterdam. It's a week-long tournament. Teams don't go home if they get beaten, they stay. Teams are on very, very different levels, so some are very, very good and some are not very good. But we create plate competitions so that in the men's tournament this year we had 48 countries in the men's tournament. There are 6 cups with 8 in each at the end, and the teams playing 47th, 48th place at the end, right up to first and second. And in the women's we had 16 with two cups. This is, I think, one of the cups being won by Team Poland. This is the Irish team celebrating together. So the teams really, really come together in a spirit of togetherness. It's all about teamwork. The huge advantages of sport and the power of sport to create change you can see in front of your eyes. This is the Irish team get together. And this is just typical as well of this picture of the way the players are together. So that they're very competitive when they're playing. So it's a real competition. They're playing for the places, but actually afterwards, a minute or so afterwards, they are together. And there's something very special going on here, because it's as if they recognize where they come from. They maybe don't speak the same language, and they all come from different backgrounds, but they're all excluded. And they recognize that in each other, and therefore are very friendly with each other afterwards. And the camaraderie between them is brilliant. They sing the national anthems with huge pride, much better, I think, than the professional teams do. Their behavior is exemplary. I often say to media who buzz around us all the time at these events that actually, if these people were running the United Nations, we'd have a much better world, because the way that they carry on, despite the horrendous circumstances from which many of them have come, is actually a joy to behold. And it's the way human beings should be. It's the best of human nature coming out in this competition, I'm pleased to say. Critically, though, for us, it's about the changing lives. We've been all around the world with our competition. We started off in Graz in Austria in 2003. We came up with this idea in a bar over a beer, and then after we'd had some breakfast the next day, we made it happen 18 months later. And we've traveled it all around the world, and had some special people have come to watch. You know, we've had some film stars. Colin Farrell came down to Amsterdam last week, and they're making a movie about the Homeless World Cup. The King of Holland was there, kicking penalties to kick the thing off. You know, Desmond Tutu was around, etc., etc. Footballers and people and businesses have come together and said, "Hey, look, we want to join in and make this happen." Our biggest crowds was in Mexico City. We had 168,000 people came to watch homeless people play football in the middle of Mexico 2 or 3 years ago, and cheered their teams on. And these people are watching homeless people play football, but as soon as they start playing, they forget they're homeless. And that's the whole point. We're destroying the stereotypical image of homeless people, integrating them back in society. And it's not just the homeless people that are doing it, it's the people who are watching and participating. So for us, a little bit on our plans, because naturally I'm the social entrepreneur, and we're not really satisfied with what we're doing. We are making an impact, but it's still just a drop in the ocean compared with the numbers in the world. So we plan to build our organization. More and more countries are joining in, and within the countries we're in, more and more cities are growing. So the more homeless people that come to our door, the more we actually will do. So we're creating the Homeless World Cup Supporters Club. And this is an important principle for me, because the Supporters Club will become something that the supporters can join and get a great deal out of. It's good fun. You can win competitions to meet Colin Farrell, or get a T-shirt, or win a competition to come to the event, or whatever. But also you can input as an individual to support or help some of our partners around the world. So the whole idea is we're aiming to sell 1 million memberships at £30 each, asking people to join in, and that's slowly starting to happen. Because the critical thing for us, and that's what you get here as part of your membership, and then we're also selling very important supporters for those who've got more than £30. But the most important thing here that I would want to say is this, that the only way we're going to change the world is if we all do something. If we all, I believe absolutely in that we're all change makers, all in this together. That's why we're trying to build this movement. We ourselves, despite the commitment we have of volunteers, etc., cannot change the whole world of homelessness. It's wrong to say, oh, I heard somebody doing a talk about homelessness and they're looking after them, that's fine. That isn't going to work. We all have to do something. And it's how we change the world. If we all do a little something, we can't handle, our brains cannot handle 100 million homeless people, what to do about it. But we can do something with one person. So if we all do a little something together, then we'll change the world. That's what we're doing, building a movement with homeless people at the center, with everyone else supporting them, using a ball, and we will change the world if we want to. Thank you very much for listening.